Today's segment that we call This Date in Sports History, in which we highlight some key moments in the history of sports, notable events, birthdays, and deaths of some of the greatest names and moments in sports history. Nothing really to talk about today from as far as events or deaths, thankfully, but we do have a few birthdays of note that I wanted to make mention of here. Do you know who Bobby Fischer is?
Yes, I do.
Do you consider chess to be a sport?
Um,
Well, it is widely considered to be a sport.
yeah,
Get you
I
on
consider it
that
to
one.
be I hear sport and I feel like I need to have some sort of physical activity involved with it. So,
Not just your brain.
but yeah,
Um,
in no way
yeah,
am I putting down what chess is. It's a high IQ
yeah.
activity for sure.
Well, I tease it, and I got in trouble several years ago writing a column about this in my newspaper days about what I consider to be a true sport, and pretty much it revolves around being must have a ball involved and not be judged. Right, it has to be a clear
Yeah.
winner based on competition, and I made some folks a little bit upset with me with that opinion, but I still think that way.
I don't 100% agree with that because I think track is a sport and there's no ball. But
Well, track is you're racing against time or against someone else for the most part, right? I mean, there's something that can be measured and that you win the competition. I would agree also that is a sport. But anyway, we won't get into that too deep again because I want our podcast to keep growing a little bit, not turn people off. Some of those opinions you keep to yourself, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Anyway, Bobby Fischer was a world champion chess player back in the 70s, early 70s. Anyway, his birthday is today. He was born on this date in 1943. He passed away in 2008. But did you know that he became the youngest chess grandmaster in world history when he won the world championship at the age of 15 in 1958? He then came back to win the 1972 World Chess Championship when he defeated Boris Spassky in the famous Cold War era match in Reykjavik. So again, right in the middle of the Cold War, we brought home a chess championship to stick it to those Soviets.
Wow.
He was the first American-born world chess champion. So he is credited a lot with the popularity. If there is popular, I've never played chess. I don't understand it, but it is popular in the country today. And a lot of that is given back to and credited to Bobby Fischer and his success. So today was his birthday. I know you know this guy, born on March the 9th in 1961, a former college football coach, the now deceased Mike Leach, who passed away in 2022. Of course, one of the most innovative offensive minds, one of the most innovative minds, period, involved in football. Of course, he's credited with, he was not the architect per se of the air raid. He was more of, he took what Hal Mumme had devised and made it his own, and it has become the revolutionary part of what you see now in spread offenses, which is spread even into the NFL. A lot of that Mike Leach brought, of course, and he won 158 career games as a college head coach at places like Texas Tech, Washington State, and Mississippi State. Now, this was pre-NIL era, so to get almost 160 career wins at those three spots, you're a pretty good football coach. Of course, in 2008, it's an infamous in Longhorn history when Texas Tech went 11-1, finished number 2 in the national rankings in 2008. That's the best season in program history. A year later, of course, was the big catch at the end by Michael Crabtree out in Lubbock, of course. Sure, your wife will remember that as well. Anyway, kept Texas from competing for a national championship that year. So I may have actually been 2008. I said 2000.
It was.
But it was 2008 because they did play for it the next year. But anyway, I never met Mike Leach. Of course, when he was at Tech, I hated him. He kind of left there with an inauspicious exit, if you remember. Crossways with administration and some things that he did there, allegedly. Resurrected his career at Washington State and then really became a national treasure when he went to Mississippi State. Man, I'm just telling you, when you're down and you feel like you need a laugh, go pull up some old Mike Leach quotes and video. He can lift you up with some of the stories that he tells. Just a very, very intelligent individual, and the world is a lesser place when we lost him. So
Yeah, you know, we have a great affinity for him in our family because he was the coach that my wife remembers so much and associates with so much of her fandom of Texas Tech. And I mean, really, you're not kidding, highly intelligent. I mean, this was a guy with a law degree, right? I mean, um, uh,
he knew
you
everything
know,
about world history, the history of football, science. He was into everything, man,
yeah,
and he was a genius.
yeah.
He really
And
was.
the fact that he just was like the places he went just fit. You know, he's in major conferences and he's able to compete for conference championships in those major conferences at the places that are kind of the outcasts of those conferences. Not really outcasts, but just outliers. They're not, you know, you think of the old Pac-12, you're thinking of the LA schools, right? That's what you're thinking of. You're thinking of the SEC, you're thinking of the heart of Louisiana, Alabama, or going Florida, Georgia. You're thinking of the Big 12. You're going Texas and Oklahoma, and he's out here competing with those teams in places like Pullman, Washington, Lubbock, Texas, and Starkville, Mississippi. It was really impressive.
Winning big games doing it.
Yeah.
And again, sad to see him leave. College football misses him for sure. So happy birthday posthumously here to Coach Mike Leach. And then the final one here today, born on March the 9th of 1965, the Boz, Brian Bosworth, who was a College Football Hall of Fame linebacker at Oklahoma in the late 80s or in the mid 80s. Won the Butkus Award actually in 85 and 86, back-to-back years as the nation's top linebacker. Kind of fizzled in the NFL. I mean, his career was over when he got truck sticked by Bo Jackson up there in Seattle. I don't remember that. Did lead the Sooners to the 85 national championship under Barry Switzer, and again was drafted by the Seahawks in the 87 supplemental draft. Didn't last long in the NFL. Actually has now gone into acting and kind of turned his image around. You know, and of course we knew it at the time. He was on steroids and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
But he did carve out. He was the early form of what we'd probably be Johnny Manziel, Johnny Football here in our era. So, but anyway, happy birthday to the Boz. He turned 61 years old today.
Wow.